Welcome to another wonderful day where we will be learning how to navigate the social media in the global markets. Here with me today, I have Dr. Deborah Oladeji, and she'll be taking us on the steps we need to navigate the social media using the global markets. Please don't forget to like and leave your comments. I will now call on the trainer for today, Dr. Deborah Oladeji. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. My host just introduced me, Dr. Deborah Oladeji, an intern, currently interning at Farmalat. And it's a privilege and honor to be anchoring today's event. And I really hope and pray that you would be able to gain something as you listen to me today. Most likely, if you are watching this video right now, you have the idea or you have a little bit idea of what social media is. Everyone does. It's at least you know the basics. You know that social media is an online platform needed to portray people's lives, people's ideas and opportunities on the internet. It says entrepreneurs, social media managers, noobs, like people that I'm very, very sure that you are here because you want to learn a thing or two. You want to understand how to navigate social media in the global market right now. So if you are very, very interested in that, I would advise that you take your pen, take your paper, and jot things down. It's very, very important that you jot things down because you would need this information later in life. I seriously believe that you would. So, moving on. There's nothing new in this world, and because of that, people might be thinking, oh, social media is new, social media just happened like in the 21st century, it never existed before. And the reality is that social media has existed from a very, very long period of time, like before the 21st century, the 19th century. It just had a different format to it. It's usually involved social gatherings, using this telephone. Then there was a landline that people used to use to interact with people around without actually going to go and meet them. That's right now in the point that I'm making, yeah, is social interaction. But social media is more of, okay, you are interacting with the world in such a way that you don't need to go out of your place. You don't need to go out of your physical location in order to get or reach other people in a particular location about your idea and your opportunities. Please, next slide. Thank you. So, social networks have evolved over the years to the modern day variety, which is digital markets. However, like I said, social media isn't new at all. It was 21st century, like when we started 2000, that's when things started becoming larger. It became a large scale thing that you should do social media. Please, next slide. Every second, like as we are speaking right now, millions of posts, tweets, and updates are being posted across continents. Across continent. I really want us to think about that idea. Like as we are speaking right now, somewhere in Iraq, somewhere in Israel, somewhere in the US, somewhere in Lagos, I'm going too far, somewhere in Abakaliki, somewhere in different locations all over the world, someone is sending out information and data on the social network. So how exactly do you market or post out your ideas, your products as a business owner or as a marketer? Effortlessly. without causing problem, and at the same time to reach your target audience. With over 4.7 billion people using social media worldwide, 4.7 billion people, I think it's very, very important that you keep this in mind, that this is your possible market. You have 4.7 billion people to convince about getting your products. Social media is the new marketplace that your business must have a store in. So what social media platforms are there? Apart from these ones, we have a wide variety of social media platforms, like a very, very wide platform. And I'm going to be picking each social media platforms and talking about each of them specifically, so that we will understand that there are different platforms one can use, yeah? But different platforms matter in different products. Like, you have different products, you have different services. It determines which social media platform you would use. Your product also determines which type of target audience you would need. And in that prospect, it means that you would have to be careful which kind of social media platform you choose. So starting from Instagram majorly is about pictures. It's about a glamorous life. It's about showing you being fine, beautiful, and that's basically it. Right now, they are trying to integrate reels, stories, because they are trying to blend in with the market. They are trying to compete with their competitors, which is TikTok. TikTok is all about videos. We all know, that's why I put in a camera in the slide showing people trying to practice dance or maybe a speech or something. TikTok is about videos, and it's very, very important that you take note of that. Usually it ranges from, I think, 30 seconds. I don't know if there's still 30 seconds, 60 seconds to at least 10 minutes. So they are, before it was very, very short videos you could post on TikTok. But with time, they increased their volume because they noticed that people had more retention ability, which is not normal because their aim usually is for you to just scroll. So all these things, you have to think about it in your strategy as a social media manager. With Instagram, people are still scrolling, but not at the same speed as TikTok. It's very important to put that in mind. So that whenever you are creating your content, you need to understand that you have to catch the audience in like a very, very fast moment. Especially with TikTok. If you don't make sense in 3 seconds, it's like this, you have gone. There's no argument about it. In 3 seconds, if you don't make sense, people have left. Not like Instagram, where it's not like that, because it's not, the scrolling effect is not so fast. So you have to put this in mind when you are thinking about using these different platforms. Then also the type of people you would see on Instagram, for example, you would see middle-aged people, you would see, at least you should see more people from like 18 to 40, you would see them there. And that would give you a demographic description of what you should expect, what kind of content to push down to them. And this also, please make sure you understand this. There are different factors when you are handling social media platforms. You have to understand the type of people that are there, but you also have to understand the kind of product you want to sell. So, okay, let's look, for example, McDonald's. They're a food company, yeah? That means their demographic is between people that can't go out, so old people, and people that don't want to go out, which are the young people. It's a wide range, but there is a way you have to target those people to understand, oh, I want you to buy this thing, I want you to come out or to deliver this thing at your doorstep. So there's a way you would push out your content on these places. Moving on to YouTube. YouTube is for long videos. It's for creating a community. So you have to understand these places. And I think for YouTube, it is very, very important that you know how to title your videos. If you don't know how to title your videos with YouTube, you would not get the interact is your title about. your title, how does it convince people? Because they use the search engine on YouTube a lot to try and get information. Like the one of the highest watched videos on YouTube at some point was about drinking water, how to drink water. It's very ridiculous. It is how to drink water. So you have to understand that just because of the topic that you title your video on different platforms. Now, this kind of thing may not work on Instagram, it may not work on TikTok. So you have to understand every platform has different ways around it that you have to put in mind. So please, can I see my slide? Okay, thank you. WhatsApp. Now, people don't really think that WhatsApp is a great tool, which is a disappointment, because for me, WhatsApp has been one of my highest paying platforms as a social media platform. WhatsApp, let me give you my categories, like how I would arrange it for myself. WhatsApp, TikTok, Instagram, and a little bit of Facebook. I'm not a Twitter person, but we will get there. So WhatsApp, and I went for a social media training in the year 2022, around that time. And one of the persons that spoke there, she mentioned that she started a business that year, and with just WhatsApp, she made 1 million with just WhatsApp status. Selling, what was she selling? Books. It's very ridiculous because you would not believe that, oh, you could sell books on WhatsApp just with WhatsApp, but it is possible. WhatsApp status is very, very important in sales. And after that time, I've spoke to some of my colleagues that started their businesses, people that have started bakeries, and someone else that started a book, and I'm very, very proud about their progress. They used WhatsApp and they are blooming in their business. So WhatsApp, do not underestimate the power of WhatsApp. Do not underestimate the power of any social media platform. As far as I'm concerned, look for the ones that work best for you and maximize it. It's not about the social media platform. That's the thing. People try to blame, oh, this platform is not working for me, this platform. It's actually about your marketing strategy. How are you going about it? What are you doing? Moving on to Facebook. As far as I'm concerned, and I think people would agree with me on this, Facebook is more of an old people's platform. But this is not a disadvantage. It's actually an advantage, because that's where you would see people that would want to actually invest in your idea and dream. So if you are thinking about getting grants, getting people that will pitch into your ideas, this is the place you should be. People that would, for TikTok and Instagram, you might say it's more for the Gen Zs, and in that aspect, you would get your orders. But if you are like a writer, or you are a, let me just stick with writer for now. Facebook is your home, because it doesn't really work with images, and it works with images with writing. Everything works with writing. That was the purpose of it, in order to engage with the community. So Facebook is more, the demographic is more around 30 to 60, really old people. And when I say old people, sometimes I think about old money. Old money, in the fact that people that have made money are on that platform trying to look for, they are trying to look for people that have goals, that have passion, that have dreams. And if you are able to convince them with social media, Facebook, you won't see those people on TikTok. People that are doing 8 to 5 and they are big in their businesses, you won't see them on TikTok, you will not see them on Instagram. So if you have a big business and you want to pitch it to people, Facebook is the place to go. And I want to switch this to the same thing as LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also a place to be in terms of pitching your ideas to people that would buy into your idea, that are serious-minded people, that okay, let me give an example. Instagram and TikTok, if you have a product, in terms of food, clothes, that's a very, very good place to be. But in terms of food and clothes, if you are going to Facebook, it might work, but you would struggle to get your inkling on it. If you go to LinkedIn for clothes, it cannot work. It's not a course. Except you have made it and you just want to go and be proud on LinkedIn. That is why you go to LinkedIn. But you don't go to sell clothes on LinkedIn. Point I'm trying to make is every platform, you have to understand where your products works or where it enters and where it works. Twitter is also about words, about storytelling. So if you know good storytelling, but you have to be very careful about Twitter because it could go wrong. It could go wrong. You could mess things up if you are not careful, especially if you don't know how to handle customer management. You have to be very, very careful with Twitter. And I'm sure that you'll be shocked about this, but Pinterest is actually a very good place to sell your goods. People are very shocked about this, but Pinterest is a very, very good place to sell your goods, your ideas. People go to Pinterest for, oh, I want to make my hair. I want to get an idea for a nice dress. And when they go to Pinterest, there's a possibility they would follow that link to your product. And they'll be like, oh, I want your product. So it's actually a shock, but it actually works. Posting pins, it's called pins, not Pinterest. Pinterest is a platform. Posting pins would actually help your product. Please, next slide. So, when I was talking about social media platforms and the fact that it's very important that you know your thing, you know how to handle things. Sales and marketing is very, very important in social media management because this is especially for social media managers that have been employed over time. The fact is, when you talk about social media management, it also involves you relating with your customers. It involves you posting aesthetically pleasing content on the page. But no matter how aesthetically pleasing it is, no matter how much it trends, if you get 1 million views and sales, you are not making sales, you would not survive in the social media world. No matter how good your content is going, no matter how, if you are not making sales, if you have 10K followers and you are not making sales, at the end of the day, nobody will be happy. That's why I put in the salesperson and the customer. It's actually a battle between the two of you. So as a social media manager, I would get to the point of where this is in the case of someone that is being employed as a social media manager. It can actually be a very, very tough position to be because as a social media manager, you are there to increase engagement, to increase viewership, to increase impression. You are there to increase analytics. It's not really, your priority is not really sales, yeah? That's how it is when you are being employed. But at the end of the day, the reason why any business would create a social media account is to make sales. So as you are making impressions, as you are increasing views, as you are whatever you are doing, put it in mind that if you are not making sales, you are going to be losing your job anytime soon. Or they will come and meet you for review. So you have to put it in mind that, you have to make sales with whatever you are doing. So you have to do your market research. You have to know what you are selling as an individual. You have to retain your customers, know where they are paying. And usually what people will do, I'm just going to give you an advice as a social media manager, with a good business, they should actually employ a customer care department because it would help to reduce your work. Because handling customers is not an easy thing, especially if you have a lot of posts to post. So you should either ask for an increase or tell them that, they need a customer salesperson to handle customers. But it is also part of the social media marketing strategy. So there are two types of social media marketing strategy. And this is what you call globalization and localization. This is like how you push your brand across. Now, when you talk about globalization focuses on maintaining a consistent brand voice across regions. So this means that if someone in Nigeria sees your brand and someone in the US sees your brand, they should be able to understand what you are saying. They should be able to get what you are saying. They should be able to relate. They should be able to use your product that way from wherever they are. And usually, this is the main idea. But sometimes, you are not a global brand. For example, let me talk about a global brand. With Chess in Slums, we have Chicken Republic. We have many food brands, many brands that are global brands. So when you check these people out, the kind of post they put on their pages is not just them talking in slangs or talking in I'm being trendy, I'm following the trend. Even if they follow the trend, they have to be very, very careful that they are maintaining their brand as much as possible. So you have to know what your brand is all about. Whatever you are doing, know what your brand is all about. And if you are just starting and you're like, I don't know, I may want to become global later on, you just have to make sure that when it is time, you switch and you do it as swiftly as possible and as professionally as possible. When you talk about localization, you talk about like Wasabi that we all know. If you go to his page, we all know how he used to speak. We all know how he used to talk. I'm Richard, Mr. Richard, that is going for, I want to collect discounts, whatever. That kind of content, when you go abroad, they might not really be able to relate. Some might because they have an idea, but they won't be able to relate as much as a Nigerian would. So in that case, you should keep it in mind that if you are going towards this route of, you want to localize your brand. Like for example, and in some products, you actually should localize your brand. Like for example, if you are selling akpu online, you are selling akpu or amala, and you want to be globalizing your brand, I just feel it's ironic, and you shouldn't be doing that because the people that are going to buy your food are not from the US. They are from your streets. So you have to localize your brand depending on your product and depending on your taste, really. As a social media that has managed brands for quite a while, one of the tools or skills that I know that has worked whenever I, submit a proposal or I want to work with you, one of the skills that has made me to be above other applicants are these skills: graphics design, video editing, copywriting, and SEO management, ads management. When people know that you can do these things, they know and they have an idea of what to expect from you. But without these things, I'm not saying that without these things you can't work as a social media manager, but because it depends on the brand. Again, it depends on the brand. For example, a fashion brand, you may not need all these skills. You will need video editing, definitely. But the point of everything is you would need at least one of these skills when you are handling a social media account. It is just inevitable. It's not something you can avoid. You need to know how to edit videos. You need to know how to do trendy videos. And to do that, you need to know how to edit videos. So if you don't know how to do this, I would advise you to go and learn how to do them. Graphic design, usually where this tool or skill is very, very important as a social media manager is when you are handling a mentorship brand, you're handling a fintech account. So again, you need to understand, if you want to go through this part, if you want to stay through this part, which place do you want to stay? Where do you want to be involved? So if you know that, you would know what you need to learn as a social media manager. If you want to be on Facebook, if you want to be on LinkedIn, you should be learning how to write good copies. You need to learn how to manage SEOs and everything like that. And then the last skill was ads management. This is important, and I think every social media manager should know how to do this. And I've been talking about only social media manager for a while. For people that want to manage their brands on their own, it is important that you at least know one of these skills. I don't know how it's possible to manage a social media account without having at least one of these skills. And in addition, the one that is very, very important is ad management. If you don't know how to get sales, organically, you can't get it inorganically. And that's true as management. You need to know how to push your brand to the people that you actually need them to see, like where should they get it from. And ads management helps with that. Please, next slide. So challenges in social media management. The social media world, like I said, it's still all about sales. The thing is, nowadays everyone wants to blow. The first two challenges I mentioned, they are very, very important and they work hand in hand. Not all businesses will blow, not all businesses will trend. Doesn't mean that you are not making impact to the community that you need to, and doesn't mean that you are not making sales. Do you get my point? In every social media strategy or plan that you have, there is a person, I don't remember his name, Alamu something. He mentioned in one of his posts, and he said something about his post has never blown or gone viral, but people know him, people know his brand, people recognize his brand. So if you are keeping it in mind that it's until you blow before you can make it in life, as either a social media manager or as a business, you're going to just shorthand yourself. You would feel bad about yourself, and it's not like that. You can't get sales without blowing. The point of social media is that your content, your strategy reaches the target audience it's supposed to reach. So in everything, keep it in mind. It's not about blowing, it's about making sales. It's about educating your audience about what your product is about. Please, the slide. Then last one, consistency over anything. As a social media person, life happens outside of social media. Life happens in general, and there's a tendency that you would not post as you should, and this will not help your brand. This is something that I need to talk to myself about. Consistency is very, very important. People like you, Wasabi Blue, or he had posts where he had been posting them back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back, and they did not go viral until they did. So keep that in mind whenever you are doing whatever you are doing. Consistency is very, very, very important. Consistency will determine how you hook your target audience, because if they know that, oh, they can keep coming back and you would be there with the information that they need, they would come as regularly as possible to get across to you. So it's just like, let me give you an instance. When I talk about consistency, in my street, there is a store that is right beside me. Like I said, social media is a shop, right? It's a market for the global world. She's right beside me and I like her. So she has good customer retention. She has everything. She has the products. She knows how to market it. But one major issue that made me not to buy things from her was because today I will see her, tomorrow I will not. Next tomorrow I will see her, till next month before I see her. So at some point I just said, nah, I'm going to another person. So sometimes consistency is very important, even if you have other things. Even if you have other things, because you are consistent, that might be really the reason why someone will buy from you. So keep that in mind. So some of the learning centers that I would like to recommend. Some of the learning centers I would like to recommend that I have gone through are these three places. I've done a social media course on Coursera and other certified official places. The point of Coursera is you do get a certificate. And in some places, it might not really be important in Nigeria, but it is important in places outside the country. They actually take this certificate very, very important. So if you are thinking about learning and you are like, oh, I want to learn. And the good thing about Coursera and even many other platforms like this is that some of these courses are free. So you don't need to pay for them. But I personally believe that what you pay for is what you value. If you don't pay for some of these skills, you will not value them enough. And if you don't value them enough, you will not finish the course. And you you never learn how to be a good social media manager, or you never learn how to handle your business as a whole. So, Coursera and other certified places online can be a good place for you to learn social media management. On to the next one. I would recommend Plenipotent Company. When I was during COVID era, that was when I actually decided to go and learn some of the skills that I have as a person. And this was a company that worked. They actually give internships where you would actually work for them, and then you learn. So it's like you are not paying, but you are paying. That's just how it is. They taught me video editing skills, graphic designs, website development, and many, many other skills that I'm very, very grateful for today. They taught me how to publish books, even though I did not learn that one very well. That's actually a good social media platform to work with. But there's that. There's many, many other skills that you can learn from them, either as an intern or at a very, very cheap rate. And the point of this is why I would say this is a second option that I'm very, very interested in is official learning. There are other places, Sheda House in Ibadan, for people that are interested and they need a physical place that they can attend, because Planet Company is an online platform where you learn. But you could also go to Sheda House, and that's where I actually went for a social media course at the time in 2019. So I would advise that you go physically. I believe more in physical interaction in learning things more than the online. Online works, but when you want to learn, sometimes you should physically go and attend these courses. The final one is observation or unofficial learning. One thing I always tell people whenever they come to learn from me about, okay, whatever skills, maybe it's video editing, graphics design, which I don't know if it's a Nigerian thing or African thing or it's a general thing, because I've never worked with teaching people outside the country. Learning never stops. Learning never stops. Because you paid for a course doesn't mean that automatically you know how to do it. That's not how it works. Once you've paid for a course, you've learned a course, it is your duty, it's your responsibility to go learn further. You need to practice in order to know what exactly you're saying. So if you expect that, oh, you paid for something and automatically you know how to do it and automatically it will work, that's not how it works. You need to, on your own, unlearn, relearn, and learn it. Like, do further research on what exactly you've been taught. And also, reading books help to observe other people. Do research on like other companies, like how did they do this marketing thing, how did they strategize social media marketing, like Dangote, even the slum in chairs people. It depends on your brand. Know, okay, what brand do you have? I have a pet company. Okay, you have a pet company. What are other pet companies doing online? What are they doing? You have to do your research in order to be a good social marketing person or to be able to handle your brand well. Please, next slide. So I really hope like you've been able to gain a thing or two. Can we go back, please? I wanted to say something, but it has skipped my mind. Okay, but for now, let's move on. I really hope you've been able to learn a thing or two. My name is Dr. Deborah Oladeji. I'm a veterinarian and a brand manager. Interning at Farmalat. Social media has played a crucial role in building my reputation in both of my career paths. I strongly support personal and career growth through social media platforms. I would always, whenever someone comes to come and meet me and they say, oh, they want to start or I would always say social media. It always works. But let us also keep in mind, sales and marketing still matters. Physically, you still need to go out there. Social media works, but sometimes you see, no matter how Lai Wasabi has blown, it still interacts with other influencers. It still collaborates with other influencers. And the only way to do that is by physical interaction. You can't do that online. You can do that through live events, but you still need to do physical interaction at some point. So if you have any question, please put it in the comment section on YouTube. Send it to me personally, wherever you have. Just put it in the comment section, and if I have time, if I see some questions, I'll come back and answer them. Or later on, it can be replied on the comment section on YouTube. So, thank you for listening. I do appreciate that.
Thank you, Dr. Deborah, for that wonderful section. I hope that we all enjoyed ourselves. We have all learned to use social media to go into the global markets. On behalf of